Welcome back to another normal baseball podcast. We got a little different episode today. We're going to be drafting the remaining free agents. Let's do it. Alright, welcome back to another normal baseball podcast. I'm Alex, that's Louis, and today we got a special guest joining us. We got CJ from The4Line podcast. It's a Yankee podcast, also on YouTube. You should go check that out. But today we're gonna draft the remaining free agents. Obviously we're in lockout, so they're not going anywhere in the next week at least. So we got time. I should probably open the doc. I probably should have done that. No,
more than likely.
I did that. Actually, here, let me split the screen with this and the dock. That would make sense.
Here we go. So I can explain the rules really quick. Here we go. So we're each going to get 7 picks, 7 different players. So once a player is picked, you can't pick them. We're going to pick the team they're going to, the years they're going to get, and the salary, total salary. We're going to do a point system afterwards, once they're getting signed, to see who gets the most total points and gets like the best guesses, so to speak. It's going to be 1 point for the correct team, 2 points for the correct amount of years, 2 points for the correct salary, an extra point if you get all 3, and then 1 point for the AAV. So if it's if it's 25 mil a year, but you get the years wrong. I think that's pretty much all the rules. Everyone's prepared. So
yes, sir.
Sounds good.
All good, man.
So to determine the draft order, we're gonna pick. Each of us are gonna pick a number with 1 through 100, and then if you're the closest, you get to pick what pick you want to be. So if everyone wants to say their numbers now, I'm gonna go with 22.
So 1 through 100?
Yeah, 1 through 100.
Give me 52.
52?
I'll take 53.
Oh, the power move. All right,
Power move. Price is right in it.
Yeah, I bet you're a fun guy to... you know what I mean. All right, 3, 2, 1. 84. So, Louis, what pick do you want?
I'll take the give me the snake. Give me 3 in the first one next round.
So you want the 3rd pick. All right. And then CJ, what pick do you want?
I'll take 2 for Derek Jeter, of course.
Oh, okay, I'll take it.
Fair enough.
I'll take the 1.
Always got to go with 2, man.
Let me just get my setup here. Because I need to keep track of these somehow. And I like writing more than I like typing. All right. So, should I just go for it?
Go for it. Lead us off.
Man.
Number 1.
Do you want a walk-up song or anything?
I'm gonna start with a shocker. I haven't decided if I'm going for correctness or if I'm gonna be out there. So with the first pick, I'll take. I'll take one off both of your boards. Carlos Correa.
Okay.
I'm going a team that might not be ordinary. I'm going with the St. Louis Cardinals. Ooh. And I'm going 10 years, $350 million.
Excuse me?
Well, I mean,
interesting take, man.
They need a shortstop. And they're not paying Arenado. So that's saved money right there.
Yeah, but...
I don't see why not. And it's not a team that Correa has had direct conflicts with. Although I do think he would like to go to a team he had direct conflict with, just because that's how he kind of rolls. But I don't know. I just like the fit.
Interesting. I like it. I like that. I never would have thought you said Cardinals. I mean, I'd say for Correa, for me, the 2 top ones I could see is the Cubs and the Yankees. Those all bias aside, I could see Cubs and Yankees in my top 2.
Yeah, that's the reports. I mean, that's where Those are the only two teams that contacted what's his name, Boris, before the lockout.
You're right. You're right.
I was
so
close.
anything could happen, man.
I was close to saying Angels, but then I realized that they're paying Rendon and Trout, and there's just no way they would want to spend even more on Correa.
Fair.
But yeah, that's
understandable.
That's what I thought. I'm going Correa.
All right. Who's in
Nice.
the 2-hole?
All right, you got me coming up now. So, I'm gonna take another one that's been somewhat popular amongst people. I'm gonna go with Freddy Freeman, and there are three teams actually that I see in this race. I see Dodgers, the Braves, and the Yankees. But I mean, it's Freddie Freeman. I don't see the Braves disrespecting one of their franchise heroes like that. I see him going back to Atlanta, 6 for 150. I could honestly see that happen. I mean, trust me, as a Yankee fan, I will be thrilled if we could land a guy like that. Because again, you don't know how I honestly don't know how the Yankees plan on spending money after the lockout. But it would be nice to pick up an elite player like Freddie Freeman, but I just don't see him leaving Atlanta. I mean, it's a little questionable, why they didn't get a deal done prior to the lockout, but I don't see him leaving. I just see him staying in Atlanta.
Yeah, no, I had the same thing because, I mean, he's been with them for 12 years. He won an MVP with them, a World Series. I don't see how he can leave. And everyone's talking about just because he didn't sign before lockout doesn't mean they're getting rid of him.
Yeah. I mean, I had him leaving.
Where'd you? I had him staying for 7 years, but
I had him leaving 6 years, 180 to the Yankees. And that's unbiased. Unbiased, I swear.
That seems a little biased considering you Let's read the text. Let's read the text. You sent me a Yankee lineup that consisted of Freeman, Correa, Judge, Soto, Stanton, DJ, Gary, and the pitching staff.
That's
and
terrifying.
I said we don't have unlimited money, and he said we always have a bottomless pit, but it's up to Hal if he wants to use it for himself or the field.
Dude, I would
where am I wrong?
The things I would do for that to happen are just unspeakable. I would do the most craziest things on earth for that lineup. But again, another team like the Dodgers, for example, I believe they're in need of a first baseman because I think Muncy hurt his shoulders or elbow or something, so they're gonna be without him for quite some time. So what you could do is just sign somebody, or there's other first basemen on the market and in the trade market as well. I mean, there's Matt Olson, who's probably gonna get more than likely gonna get traded. Personally, I think he's going to the Yankees, but I guess we'll discuss that a little later. But there are various options for all these teams on the market, for first base just in trades and in signings. So
yeah, and another one for the Dodgers. Another reason, I mean, they're getting a DH next year.
Exactly.
So even with the Muncy Freeman problem, they have a DH spot now instead of the pitcher
and also
spot.
Losing Cedar, now you shift Turner over to short, and Muncy can play second.
He can play second. He has shown that.
So now you need a first now you just need a first baseman to complete the puzzle,
which is terrifying because the Dodgers will go out and get him if they want to.
Oh, they will.
That's how they would work.
Yeah,
they're gonna be aggressive. Will the Yankees do that?
No,
I don't know.
Lord knows.
Absolutely not.
No, they're probably gonna sit back, and then if they want to, they'll just swoop in last second when no one expects it.
I think the first time they go once they go over the luxury tax,
And
I
it's
think
to the moon.
I think we're in the clear. I think they're going to be spending, but until that happens, the Yankees.
Oh well, I just hope Hal decides to go over it. I mean, he honestly has no choice.
He didn't last year because he was terrified last year.
I mean, to be fair though, I feel like this free agent market is a little better than last year's.
Well, yes, for free agency, but even trades, we had for Rougned Odor. The only reason he was on our team is because he was playing for free.
Exactly, and it was a depth piece, and he was playing for free. I mean,
Same thing with
Gallo. Didn't Texas eat all of his salary too?
And the other guy they gave us, Joely. He played for free too. And there was one other, but I forgot who.
And we paid him we signed him for not much money. I think it was only
I think it's $2 million.
$2 million, something like that.
It was nothing.
So that's pocket change for Hal. So
yeah. So Freeman. You
Right,
had
Freeman's
Freeman
off the
to the
board.
Braves, 6 years, $150 million. In the second pick. All right, Lewis, you want to hit us with the third pick?
Yeah. All right. So I am going to be shooting as far away from the dartboard as I possibly can here. With my first pick, I'm going with Sensei Suzuki. All right, free agent,
Okay.
coming into the league and everything, and was doing my research a little bit because I wanted to take this guy first, without a doubt. I have him going to the Philadelphia Phillies for 6 years, $70 million.
Oh.
And I only say that because he's such a utility tool. He's a Swiss Army knife. He can fill in a few of the holes that the Phillies might not be able to fill in when the lockout ends with players that are established in the MLB. And honestly, the Phillies have nothing to lose. What are they going to do? Miss the playoffs? They can only go up, basically. And I think part of that will be Mr. Suzuki here.
I mean,
See, I could agree.
I see it, but it's hard to believe.
Yeah, of course.
That's a guy I want the Yankees to target. I mentioned this
me
in
too.
some of my episodes. I'm like, yo, I love this guy. But honestly, like, I don't know if you guys saw this, but like there was like some Japanese like newspaper website or something that said that he was signing with the Red Sox. Like this was like a few weeks ago.
He followed
again,
them on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, again, like with the lockout and everything, I don't know if I should believe that, but I mean, it is possible.
I
Definitely is.
I mean, if he signs with, I'd probably cry.
Me too. I'd be upset.
And like I was listening to another Yankee podcast, and they were talking to Michael Kay, and they were mentioning that like the Yankees always have some sort of like Japanese kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, representative like on their team since Matsui. But like last year with no Tanaka, it was kind of like the first year in a while that they haven't had a representative from Japan. So that could be another.
They probably felt really empty in that clubhouse.
Could be another thought process.
Yeah, so I've been thinking similarly when it comes to that, because we had Matsui, then who else? We had like Hiroki Kuroda at one point. We had Tanaka. I mean, we had other guys like
Ichiro,
Japanese descent. Ichiro, yeah. I mean, for a brief time period.
A year.
So, I mean, that will be nice. I mean, I feel like we do have connections to like Japanese baseball. I mean, ever since Matsui came in, we've had connections like overseas, even before Matsui. I mean, there were some other like a few guys possibly, but I mean, we have connections with Japan, so that would be nice. I mean,
even
we've had
Ohtani.
history players come here. Yeah, even Ohtani was in conversations with us before he went to the Angels. So
yeah.
And it feels like, obviously it's the New York fucking Yankees. Like,
exactly.
People everywhere around the world can recognize the Yankees. Like, it's not just a U.S. thing, whereas some of the other teams are U.S. only type deal.
Well,
but then again, the Red Sox are in that upper echelon with the Yankees of.
I mean, they're definitely not all the way up there, but it's
The
for
Yankees
sure.
and the Dodgers.
He's going to be on one of the coasts. I think that can be agreed on.
I don't see him going to Colorado.
No,
there's no way.
I mean, you got the big teams on the West, you got the big teams on the East. So.
I see him in a Giants uniform for some reason. As much as I don't like it.
Yeah.
All behind the plate, right? Can he play? No. He could probably figure out how to play catcher.
That's the only thing. It wouldn't really make sense with their team because I think they're all like set with outfielders. I mean, they have Yaz. They don't have Bryant anymore, I guess.
Well,
no
one has Bryant.
Well, yeah.
Well, you know what I mean, but he was playing right for them a lot, left rather.
The Dodgers are set. The Angels are having Trout coming back. They'll be fine. So,
although who other outfielders? They had Fowler, but he got injured. They had Lagares.
They have Trout, Ohtani, Lagares.
Fowler, not Fowler. No, it was Fowler. They had Dexter Fowler.
It was.
He tore his ACL in like the first week of the season.
He did. I do remember that. I don't even know who else they have, dude. I'm not too fond of the Angels outside of
they had
those
Eaton.
guys. Not gonna lie.
They had Eaton for a while. That's all I remember.
All right.
Anyway, you have another pick.
Yeah. So I'm snaking around here, and I think I'm taking arguably the biggest lock out of this list that I was given. Nicholas Castellanos, the bringer of hatred, Cincinnati Red baseball masher. I see him going 5 years, $110 million to the Miami Marlins.
Oh man.
Woo. I love
I mean,
Castellanos.
it was
I love
it was this close, basically, what it felt like
I
before
hate
the
you.
lockout started. And you got to ride with the boys down south.
I
I
hate
could
you
agree.
with my
I could
entire
agree.
heart because I had him 6 years, 150 with the Marlins.
I have him 5-110.
Ooh.
I
I
was.
could agree with that, though. I could agree with that.
They need
I mean,
They need outfield, and they're like an actual growing team who's getting. They're going to be
No,
significantly
exactly.
better.
My thought process behind this was now that the NL is doing a DH, not only will Nick Castellanos be able to play the field and help develop the younger talent of how to really play fly balls and just, stand in the field basically, but also just how to hit well, and that's where I'm getting a little bit more. Like that's where I'm getting that extra $10 million from basically. That,
Right.
he's going to be more than just a player. He's going to be that veteran voice in the clubhouse full of the kids who are just making it to the league, basically.
What is that? 22 a year?
I believe so.
Because I think he just turned down 20 a year from the Reds because he opted out.
At 22 mil.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I think
'cause
also
that's-
he just doesn't want to play in Cincinnati too. I think that location is a big factor in some of these guys.
Oh,
So
I
well, I
don't
guess
want to play there either.
16 mil.
Yeah,
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, no, 16 mil. So I guess it would be.
I could
Yeah.
honestly
That's
I
what
could
you-
agree with that because the Marlins, as you mentioned, Alex, they're a growing team. I mean, they have a ton of potential. I mean, from the pitching staff to the infield. I mean, Chisholm's gonna be a star. Their rotation is just insane. So you gotta help the rotation by getting offense, obviously. And Castellanos is one of the top offensive players in the game. I mean, he's very, very solid bat. I mean, and it would fit in great. I mean, they need another outfielder, so.
Yeah,
That would make
Tear
sense. That would
up
make sense.
in some
That
of
would make
those
sense.
National League East ballparks.
yeah. I was gonna,
Yeah.
especially the NL East. That division is gonna be crazy this year.
Yeah, that would make sense
until
for
about
both
halfway
parties.
through when the Mets lose 85 games in a row.
Let's lose, and then right before the playoffs, the Phillies fall off a cliff.
Oh, yet
the
again.
usual.
As always. And then-
Marlins World Series, not champs. 7 games
Same
with the
Marlins
Yankees.
World Series. Yeah.
7 games with the Yankees next year.
I agree.
If only. All right.
All right, CJ, you're up.
Who's our two? CJ? Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna pick someone else on this list here. I'm gonna go with Kyle Schwarber. Big bat. I mean, versatile. I mean, he could play all around. So, I could see Schwarber possibly going back to the Red Sox. I mean, the Red Sox have to pursue. I mean, he was fantastic when he was with the Red Sox for that brief period of time after the deadline. So I can honestly see him going back. I mean, in the 3 years, 54 million range, something like that. I mean, I believe he was pursuing like around 50, but I could see him asking for a little more, primarily because he's versatile and he has a big bat. I mean, that could fit in well at Fenway with all those odd dimensions going on over there. So I could see him going back, playing first, maybe even catching if he still does that.
Yeah, God knows.
yeah,
he does in the show.
Yeah,
Yeah, he does- yeah, he does- yeah,
that's how
exactly.
I know.
I have the Nationals card. Was it like the '97 Schwarber as
Yeah.
catcher or whatever?
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
what-
I have him, but yeah, I could see him going back to the Red Sox. I mean, the Mets are in play for him too. I believe. I believe the Mets are going to make a run for him.
For in play for almost everybody.
Yeah, but especially I
wallet?
feel like National League teams would probably go for him as well, primarily because of the universal DH thing. But no, I could see him going back to the Red Sox.
Yeah, that's somewhat what I was thinking, like with the NL, because he should really be a DH when you think about it. It's like, I don't know. To me, he seemed like a Brewers guy. Because when I think Brewers, for some reason, I think of like big guys, like not
big
not
guys
like
who
fat,
just hit
but like big
tanks.
guys. like Thames and Rowdy Tellez is like the most Brewer person I've ever seen. And who was the other one? Vogelbach, who was on their
Yeah.
team this year. He just like seems in that category for me.
That's funny.
But I
had,
do like the Red Sox. It would be very scary as a Yankee fan.
I had Kyle Schwarber going to the Guardians.
I don't think anyone's gonna sign with the Guardians, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I know. I just did it to spice things up. I did like a list actually. Kyle Schwarber's the only one. I did Guardians, Red Sox, Brewers, and then I did the Cincinnati Reds, which I did that late last night, so I don't really remember why I did the Cincinnati Reds, but they're there.
Oh my god, it's so sad with the Reds. They had a nice window. They had a pretty good team. They just
Fell off, man.
Could not
Completely.
do it.
Completely fell off.
All right, so what am I? I'm up next. Oh boy. I'm gonna go with Chris Bryant. We're just talking about him. Obviously, he was on the Giants last year, and we said he was playing the outfield along with third. He played actually I think more games in outfield than he did at third last year. But I am going Bryant to the Seattle Mariners. 5 years, $120 million. They lost Seager. Seager retired. Their team is growing. That team, America's team last year, had 90 wins in a season that they weren't supposed to have 90 wins.
Made a great show down the stretch.
They did.
I think it would add to the offense. It's a better bat than Seager was. So
yeah, that's a great pick.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that. The Mariners could use some more pop, really anywhere on the field. So I like it. I like it. I mean, they had some solid moments down the stretch, and they were playing some fun baseball. I mean, I was watching some of those games. No, that team was fun to watch, and throwing Bryant in the mix there, it will make them even better. I feel like just throwing him in there with a solid core. I mean, you got guys over there. You got Haniger, you got Kelenic, you got Crawford. Putting him in there, putting a proven star in the league would just be mint.
It would.
Oh, yeah.
And
to make a run at that the ALS trophy would be interesting.
That would be.
And like I thought there was in my thought process was there's no way he's going back to Chicago. I would be shocked, honestly, if he did.
Me too. I would be shocked as well if he did.
That would be quite the switch up.
Yeah.
That would be something.
Plus I don't see a reason. Same thing why I didn't pick Correa to go there. Like I get that he would be there for 10 years if he signed a contract. But I think he wants to just go to a place where he knows he's gonna win. So like one of the big name teams.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh shoot! I got another pick here.
Yeah, you do. Back to back.
Going back to back over there.
Here we go. I'm gonna go with Trevor Story.
Oh man, I was waiting for Trevor Story.
I have highlighted here.
We might. We definitely don't have the same team because I got him going to the Yankees. 4 years, $100 million.
So do I.
Yeah, he had a down year last year, which can't be like pushed too much. But I mean, everyone we know his potential. But I think that's what kind of pushed it under. I don't think the Yankees are going to go for like the top shortstop when there's a guy like Trevor Story who you could probably right now get for a little cheaper, and who knows, in a couple of years might have the same amount of play.
No, I agree. I mean, I feel like he would fit in at Yankee Stadium very well. I mean, I was looking at not too long ago. I think it was Savant or Fangraph, something like that. It showed like what his possible numbers would be in Yankee Stadium. I think I had him hitting like over 40 home runs or something if he played at Yankee Stadium this year.
I love it.
Which would be nice.
Pretty good.
People argue, oh, he has a dead arm. I mean, I don't think that. I mean, and he would be fine. I mean, because the thing is, people don't seem to realize this, that Anthony Volpe can play third base. So what you do is you have Story play short, and then when Volpe's time is up, you just put him at third, and then eventually when Story's contract expires, you could figure that out as you go along. But no, that would make the Yankees a better team offensively and defensively, because obviously that was the issue last year. I mean, the defense was putrid, and the offense was not performing at the level it should be outside of guys like Stan and Judge. So, and a proven bat like Story, he's due for some money. That would be a nice addition to the Yankees.
Yeah,
I like it.
Anything's better than Glaber at short, defensively.
I
agree.
Amen. Say it one more time.
He had a 1.6 D WAR.
All I ask for is just please do not sign Andrelton Simmons to play short. That's all I ask.
Amen.
All I ask. Man.
I don't want to spoil one of my future picks, but.
Oh boy.
CJ, you're back up.
Yeah.
All right. So, speaking on the Yankees topic, pitching is a bit of a concern. So I could see us getting Carlos Rodon. I could see him going like I'm gonna throw this out here. 2 years, 23 million. I could see something like that. He's due for, like he declined the qualify. Well, the White Sox actually didn't extend the qualifying offer, so I think that might be like a little lower. But I don't know. Maybe he'll like to take that to play for the Yankees. Because the Yankees rotation, it's all right. I mean, it's missing that one guy, and I think Rodon, he's gonna get a little better. I think. I mean, he threw a no-hitter last year. He had some solid numbers, so I think he's a quality pitcher. You could put him in there with Cole, Montgomery, Tyone, all those dudes. I mean, maybe even Luis Hill has a crack at the rotation this year. I mean, if you want to throw Nestor back in there, but just adding another starter in there, I feel like it just makes the rotation so much better.
The money seems a little low, no? Especially because he's a Boris guy.
It is a little. Oh, I didn't even realize it was a Boris guy. All right,
how much did you say again?
223. So that'll be 11.5.
I had 2 for 33.
Okay, well, I mean, I didn't realize Boris was his agent.
I'm pretty
so,
sure.
I mean,
I could look that up again.
I mean, if it's Boris, then I could definitely seeing it in the 33 range, 100%.
Yeah, Boris. And
then I could definitely see that.
But that was the other thing, like his numbers. Like this has been his only good year in the majors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're really hoping lightning strikes twice.
It's really like
choose to sign him.
I could see a team like refusing to give him that much money just because he had one good year.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a risk and a gamble, but I mean, I would love to see him in pinstripes. He already wears pinstripes. Chicago.
Oh,
yeah.
Bro.
You're right.
He's used to it. I like it.
All right. I think I'm back up here.
You are.
All right. So, with the first pick that I'm going to take here, I'm going to go with Zach Greinke. Right? Aging pitcher, might be, scraping the bottom of the barrel here. I think he's just going to go back to Houston for one more year on like a $9 million contract right before he calls it a career.
1 year, $9 million?
Yep. I mean, not interesting.
How old is Greinke?
He's up there. I this morning when I was doing this, I saw it like
38.
His age. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, he's like late 30s.
Yeah, 38. I mean, he's got I think he's got 1 or 2 years left in the big leagues, sadly, because Zach Greinke is quite the interesting fellow.
He is.
He is.
Never seen anyone like him, personality-wise. Especially recently.
I agree.
Man was in COVID, came out and just completely didn't care anymore.
Oh man.
All right, and then my other pick, I wanna just do that, and then we'll chat about both of them. I'm going with Jori Solaire, World Series MVP. Jori Solaire. I have him going back to the Braves. 4 years, 40 mil.
4
and
years,
I think
40.
I see.
Yeah, I like that.
I see that contract as not as you're locked in Atlanta for 4 years, but depending on what happens with Freeman and what the Braves want to do in free agency, Solaire could get moved again because it's such a friendly contract.
No, I could see that.
Like it.
I could see that as well. I definitely think he's going back to the Braves. I mean, he was very valuable down the stretch and in the playoffs last year, so it makes sense for the Braves to bring him back.
Yeah, and it's
I bet you could go anywhere in Atlanta and get a free beer, probably.
Oh, probably. And again, with the DH becoming a thing in the NL now,
oh yeah, that's huge.
It just makes it even more valuable. So,
Yeah,
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, and I mean, personality-wise, the fans love him.
Yeah.
He is.
People in Houston don't like him, but that's besides the point. Going back to your other pick, something a little extremely important to the pick. Zach Greinke's first name is Donald.
Oh.
And I didn't know that till
Greinke.
just now.
Donald Greinke will be going back to the Houston Astros.
Unless something's wrong here on Baseball Reference. It says Donald Zachary Greinke.
Interesting. I did not know
He seems
that.
like a middle name type guy.
That's so odd.
I mean, he is a bit of an odd character, so
yeah.
that explains it.
I believe it.
Me too.
So basically, Lewis's snake, your snake was two guys staying.
Greinke and Solaire that are both staying with their respective organizations.
I could see that both happening. Unless Greinke decides to go back to, like, Kansas City. call it a career.
That would be interesting. I mean, I thought about it, but then I was like, I feel like the type of guy that Zach Greinke is, he doesn't feel like moving again. Like, you know, he's like, I know that the kitchen staff is gonna know that I want oatmeal with this amount of brown sugar when I come in, like, you know, type of thing. I feel like he's so nitpicky about it that he just doesn't want to leave what he's already established in Houston.
Yeah. All right, I like them both. CJ, you're back up.
All right. So I got another guy on the list. Another another big piece that applied to the Braves in the playoffs and down the stretch. I'm gonna go with Jock Peterson. Again, I feel like it would just make sense for him just to go back to the Braves. I mean, I could just see it. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on with Marcell Ozuna, so they could use another guy in the outfield. I could see him going back there 3 years. I'd say maybe like 32, 332 for.
I like that.
Peterson. It would just make total sense to bring him back. And again, he's another guy that can be used as a DH. I mean, he has a nice power bat. I mean, he's a solid defender, so it would make sense for the Braves to bring him back. I like that.
Yeah,
I would like that move.
I had around the same. I had like 1 year, 12 mil, only because I didn't know if he was gonna go for that long. It just seemed like one of those kind of 1 year kind of things. But even like this year, when you look at his numbers, kind of shocking considering he actually played a decent amount of the season. Like, I know he went off in the postseason, but like 19 doubles, 18 home runs. I mean, a negative WAR. Considering of how much he played, like, it didn't feel like that at all. And maybe the playoffs kind of influenced that a lot, but
the Pearls influence that. Let's get that clear.
The what?
The Pearls.
Oh, yes. Forgot about those.
Yeah. The Pearls, man. The Pearls.
All right.
Huge.
I like the Jock pick. Okay.
All right.
I'm up.
It looks like Alex is snaking around.
All right. I'm going with, speaking of Zach Greinke, I'm going with another another Dodger, Clayton Kershaw. And I'm going to go with him going to the Texas Rangers. 2 years, $40 million. And the reason I had $40 million is because if Verlander can miss an entire year and get 2 years, $40 million from the Astros, Kershaw, who is one of the greatest pitchers of all time, can have a down year and get $20 million a year. That was my thought process.
That's a good way to look at it.
He had the highest ERA of his career all year. Last season, but he's Clayton Kershaw, for God's sake. I mean,
yeah,
you're right.
I don't know, and then just Texas, because it's his hometown. He needs a little change of scenery. He's played 14 years with the Dodgers. So.
I also had him go into the Rangers. I had him on a 4-year 80. 4
years seems like maybe not.
No, I mean, it depends. Also, but like that 4 years could also be 2 as a player, 2 as coming in and being the pitching staff guy, like, who just kind of moseys around and helps. Because the Rangers, besides their 2 big free agency signings before the lockout, and if Clayton Kershaw went there, relatively young team. And imagine Jack Leiter getting some tips and tricks from Clayton Kershaw.
I mean, people forget he's only 33. Well, I guess almost 34. Yeah. Him and DeGrom are the same age. So if DeGrom's got 4 years left, Kershaw's got 4 years left.
Exactly. He's not that old. I mean,
no.
Still got some left in his tank.
I think he's just been here for so long. He feels so much older than he actually is.
Amen. Yeah.
I mean, 08. When did DeGrom first come in? 14. So it's a 6-year difference between 2 guys who are the same age. I like it.
Yeah.
From me. I completely forgot I just made that pick.
You did.
Good thing I said I liked it, because that'd be a little weird.
Funny if you went back on that.
All right, I got another one. Oh boy. All right, I'm gonna go with a fun pick. Obviously, you got 3 Yankee fans right here, so I think this might be agreed upon. I got Brett Gardner coming back to the Yankees, 1 year, $10 million. What?
$10 million.
Yeah, 10 mil.
Ride the bench.
Guardy does what he wants. Guardy, he's
I had him at veterans minimum.
he's fine. I'll settle. I'll bring it down. I'll bring it down to 7. I'll bring it down to 7.
Yeah, you already
I can
said
settle.
that.
I can settle. I haven't written it down yet. So Guardy of the Yankees, 1 year, 7 mil. That's what I'll take. He's been called the piano man from parts that I come from, because it feels like you could drop a piano on his head and he would still be playing center field for the Yankees. And you might say veterans minimum, but we all know by early September he will be the starting center fielder for the New York Yankees. It happens every year.
Yeah, more than
As
likely.
much as I don't want it to, it happens every year.
You're right.
Fair enough.
But yeah, Guardy. I just he's inevitable.
He is inevitable.
There's no getting rid of
All
him.
right, CJ, you're back on the board here.
Speaking of, I have like a bit of an outlandish take here. I could see the Yankees getting another outfielder, and this may be controversial. I could see them trying to sign a guy like Michael Conforto for 1 year, around like the $13-14 million range. Well, why, you may ask? Like you may be wondering, like, what the hell is he saying? Well, I would like the outfield to consist of Gallo, Judge, and Stanton. But again, that's probably not going to happen on a daily basis. So you'll have Stanton as the DH. You'll obviously have Aaron Hicks if he doesn't like hurt himself walking in the mall or something like he always tends to do.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like the Yankees need more depth, and Conforto, he is a starting, like, he can start, but I feel like just throwing him in there, like, maybe even just, like, as a valuable piece off the bench, even to use as a designated hitter, or just put him in the actual field, I feel like that would make sense. You have, like, a bit of a rotation going between Gallo, Judge, Stanton, Hicks, and Conforto. I feel like that would make sense. I mean, it's outlandish a little bit, but again, I mean, like, we were talking about the Yankees possibly landing other outfielders, like Suzuki, and, I mean, people were laboring for Chris Taylor earlier before he got signed by the Dodgers, so I feel like I could see it. I could see something like that possibly
What did you say the money was again?
1 year, 14?
Something like that.
13, 14, he said. I mean,
It wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad. I feel like he would do like a bit of a prove it deal for him. I don't know.
For a backup outfielder, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Michael Conforto's best option right now is to take a 1 year, like, go prove to me that you can play baseball deal.
Me
without
too.
a doubt.
I don't.
Yeah.
I know. I wouldn't. I would be skeptical if I was a GM to sign a guy like that to like a multi-year deal after a bit of a rough year last year. But again, going across the town, staying in the area, let's see what you can do. I mean, if you can make a difference, then best of luck either with the Yankees or somewhere else next year. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I guess the thought there would be staying near where he already is, which would, like, obviously, well, no. Well, the Mets. Sorry, I was thinking of Wilmer Flores for a second. It makes sense if he would go to the Yankees. The only difference that I could see is, like, if he went to, like, some team like maybe the Pirates, where he knows he'll be starting, to, like, get more reps so that he can, like, get his stats that he needs for the contract. But I mean, I wouldn't mind grabbing Conforto. He's a good bat.
Well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind it either. I feel like it would be nice.
Obviously, Mets fans thinks he's the best right fielder in the league, but that's just not.
Oh no,
it's just not the truth.
My number one place for Conforto to land, I put the Angels. Because if Ohtani's going to come back full time, they throw Conforto in left field.
Yeah.
And then your outfield is Conforto, Trout, and then Ohtani every 4 out of 5 days.
Well, Ohtani
pretty good.
Ohtani never really played the field in his
but
off days.
the Angels did say that they want to play him in the field again on the off days.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to play him 3 to 4 times a week, depending on what he wants to do pitching wise.
That's interesting. I didn't.
He's going to go for every award: Gold Glove, Silver Slugger. He already has the MVP. You never know. Maybe he'll tear his own ACL, get Comeback Player of the Year, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, his trophy case will be filled.
Yeah. All good for him.
All right. I mean, I can see that, but the Yankee one is it's out there, but it could happen. and it would be
That's
a
a good pick.
great like prediction if it did.
Yeah.
All right,
All
Lewis,
right.
you got 2
Am
coming
I
up.
back?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got
I'm
2.
back. All right. My first pick I'm going to be using on the boomstick. Nelson Cruz.
Nice.
Going into his age 41 season, can still terrorize all 29 other teams in the league. I have him going 1 year, $16 million to the Rays. Just, finishing out there. I think the Rays are not only going to give him the money that he wants for 1 year, but also show him that, hey, you should stay here because we have a real shot at winning this next year.
That would make sense. That would make a ton of sense for the Rays. I mean, add some power to the lineup. I mean, they don't like spending money, but it's not a lot. I mean, it adds some power to the lineup. He was pretty solid down the stretch last year, so I think that's a smart move to make if you're the Rays. So I would enjoy that if I was a Rays fan, 100%. Good move. It would be a good move by them.
And with Franco, they might be turning over like a new leaf of actually spending their money.
Possibly, yeah, after giving him that contract.
I mean, and 16 million. Seems like a lot for a guy at 41, but he's proven that he can do it. So
yeah, he just DHs too. Like 16 million for a guy who's going to hit 30 plus homers.
And I mean, he can play first. He played first for them last year.
He did.
I don't imagine him doing that, but
not that I imagine him doing it, but if they need him at first, he can do it.
Yeah.
No, I like that. Now that I've heard it, he wasn't even on my board, so now I completely agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then for my second pick, this one's a little bit of a weird one. Joe Kelly, quite the interesting guy, most famous for the lip pout at the entirety of the Houston Astros organization, which he won the hearts of just about every baseball fan. He was with the Dodgers last year, and the Dodgers openly admitted that they would not, they don't really care if he comes back or not. And I think that this is an opportunity for him to go somewhere new and really, show what he's worth. And I think he's going to head to the crosstown rivals of the Los Angeles Angels on a 3-year, $12.5 million contract for Joe Kelly.
Angels could use some bullpen help.
Yeah, Angels need bullpen. And I mean, Joe Kelly, from what I know about him, because I did read a little bit into him as a person, he hates travel, with a passion. But he does it because he gets paid for it, obviously. If he didn't pay that much money, I'd fucking jump on a plane every week if I had to.
Oh, 100%.
But if he can avoid having to move across the country or into the Midwest or something and just have to worry about making a left or right out of his driveway every morning, I think that's where he wants to go. I think the Angels are, with Aaron Loop and Noah Syndergaard, I mean, the Angels could have a very, very good pitching staff, which never thought I would say that.
Yeah, I mean, Loop and...
When Trout's not injured, they have solid offense.
Right.
I mean, people forget about Anthony Rendon. I mean, they're not a bad offensive team, but this is definitely pitching, and just bolstering their pitching through free agency would just make a lot of sense on all aspects. It would make a ton of sense.
And they've been doing it. I mean, they got Raziel back, right? I believe.
Yeah, they did. They got Syndergaard, as you
Loop,
mentioned.
Syndergaard. I think they made a couple more. I mean, they have Ohtani, obviously. They made a couple more. They're not gonna.
They drafted 30 pitchers straight in the most recent draft. I mean, the focus is changing.
At least they know now.
At least they're aware at this point. I mean,
they're under some heat for some other stuff, but.
Yeah, because it didn't seem like they were aware for quite some time. But
I mean, they got Rendon instead of Cole.
Mm-hmm.
I bet Angels fans were happy about that this year. He played 58 games.
Yeah.
I could see it though. Joe Kelly to the Angels. That'd be fun.
Makes sense.
As long as he does the same.
I took a little bit lower money though. I did take a little bit lower on the money side than what I expected.
But Joe Kelly, that makes sense. He's not.
Yeah, he's not a premier. I mean, from what after I did all this, I went on to a few websites to see projected salaries, and they had him at 3 or 4 years that you'd be looking at 15 to 23, in there. So it's a little bit low based on the projections, but that's just Joe Kelly money. I did that would be a Joe Kelly contract.
I like it. I like it. All right, CJ, you're up again with your 6th pick.
So I'm gonna keep it like on the Yankees here, and the Yankees have a lot on their hands right now. I mean, shortstop is obviously the big cause for concern, and if they want to take the stopgap route, they should sign Jose Iglesias. Why, you may ask? I would go with a year for like $3 million. I was having this conversation with my friends the other day because he put up some solid offensive production when he was with Boston briefly at the this season. He wasn't bad. Not a bad defender as well. But if they want to take that route, that stopgap route, I mean, I would not mind that at all. But that also would mean that they should get a first baseman to plug in there to technically complete the infield. Because Iglesias isn't bad. Labor at second, maybe DJ at third, and then hopefully Olsen or Freeman at first. It's not a bad infield. I mean, it's not. It's definitely better than what we had last year. It's a significant upgrade from what we've had in previous and like last year, especially defensively and offensively. He's not bad offensively. He's not a power guy, but he gets the job done. I mean, he's a base hitter. I mean, the Yankees can use just guys that get on base. He gets on base, so the Yankees could use that. He's a solid defender, so I feel like it would make sense if they want to not throw the bag at a top shortstop and just let Volpe come up and do his thing. So then next year you plug him in at short, and then you just figure out the rest of the puzzle from there. So if they want to go that way, that's the way they should go, and they should not sign Andrelton Simmons for various reasons.
Amen.
Yeah.
One more time, say it again.
Amen. And no Andrelton Simmons.
I love it. I do like that. I like the Iglesias option more than I would like the Simmons option.
Oh, me too, 100%.
The defense is like, Simmons has good defense, obviously, but I mean Iglesias' defense is right up there, and Iglesias can hit and Simmons can't.
Simmons is like.
I mean, Andrelton Simmons had a 558 OPS last year. That's less than some people slugging.
See, if the Yankees wanted to sign, if the Yankees want to go like sign Andrelton Simmons, then why did you not keep Tyler Wade or Andrew Velazquez at that point?
Right.
I mean, I'd rather have Andrew Velazquez.
Those two.
Yeah, I would never was the biggest Tyler Wade guy, but I'd rather have Andrew Velazquez than Andrelton Simmons.
Get him out of this call.
But Velazquez produces offensively, like at least by a significant margin compared to Simmons. So, and I mean. Velazquez wasn't a bad defender, so I just wouldn't understand signing Simmons. I just don't understand the logic behind it.
There would be no logic.
There would be. It would be a cost.
It would be a cop out.
No, that would be like a coupon. That would be like a penny pinching move. Like that would be like shopping like at Dollar Tree when Target's down the corner and you could afford Target, but you go to Dollar Tree and you pick up Andrelton Simmons instead of a guy like Story. So
right.
Yeah. That'll be the move that says to the entirety of the Yankee fan base that we're not going anywhere.
No, exactly.
We'll tread water right here.
Exactly. That would be like the biggest like FU to every fan on the universe.
Yeah,
that would be terrible.
So I mean, Iglesias. Saw him on the Red Sox. Didn't play in the playoffs, but we saw him. It was pretty big reason they even made the wild card.
Yeah, I like it too. I like it.
So what we got? Me twice here. My last two picks.
Did
we get a? All right. I'm big Yankee theme today. Because I am going with Anthony Rizzo coming back to the Yankees for 3 years, and I haven't fully decided. I think the salary somewhere around 50 mil. I don't think they're gonna, if they can't make the trade for Olsen or if they don't sign Freeman, which I don't think is gonna happen, but you know what I mean. I think Rizzo's the best option. He seemed to enjoy it his time here. The clubhouse loved him. The fans loved him. I don't see why not. He might have not played.
The Anthony Rizzo fans even came over to New York too.
Yeah, he's just such a beloved guy. I would love to have him on the team again next year.
Amen.
See, like people online like crap all over that move, but I don't understand it. Like, yeah, he's getting older. There are better options, but he's a proven leader. He has experience. He's a winner. I mean, he brings in a nice mentality. No, he's
Yeah.
not terrible. I mean, he's an upgrade from Luke Voigt and other options that we have. But would I prefer a guy like Olsen or Freeman more? Yeah, I mean, everyone would. But I would not mind Anthony Rizzo. I would like it. I mean, keep him around.
It's not even like he's bad or
No,
gotten
he's
worse.
not.
Like
He's not.
He's just a solid. He's solid.
Yeah, he's not.
He's never going to be
Fantastic.
the leading MVP guy, but he's not one of those players where you're like, why is he on this team anymore?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not horrible. He's
I
not
mean,
bad.
like him and Judge have like this like I don't want to call it a bromance because you can't break up the trio from Chicago, but like they got along like butter and toast. I mean,
They did. They did.
they really clicked. It was almost like you could see the hard eyes just popping out when they would look at each other in the dugout. Like they just got along so well that it's hard to think that he might not be coming back to the Yankees next season.
I like that. Butter and toast. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, what's not to love about butter and toast?
Nothing.
100% agree. Exactly.
All right. For my last one, I'm gonna go with a little bit of a hit or miss. I'm going with Albert Pujols.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't retire, I think he's going back to St. Louis for 1 year. I don't know the money. I'll say like $5 million.
That's exactly what I put.
Yeah.
Word for word.
I
for
mean,
bar.
just for the sake of having a farewell season, it's pretty much the only reason that I could think of. And it's not like he's going to be playing every day because they have Goldie. But yeah,
Oh, he'll be the DH.
I mean he could be,
Going-
but
Going back.
I don't know why they
Going
would. I
back.
think he would just kind of ride the bench.
Going back to where he was at the beginning of his career. I mean,
The
it
only
would make
place he
sense
played
for
good
one last lap around. I feel like it would make sense.
Yeah, so that's my final pick.
I mean, if he went back to the NL Central, where he did terrorize the entirety of that division, he would definitely get a very nice send-off tour. It would be very fitting.
I agree.
I mean, St. Louis was the only place he actually played good in.
Yeah, that's true.
He had
100%.
an over 900 OPS in every single season with the Cardinals, and didn't once with the Angels.
Yeah.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
is.
He's one of the greatest of all time, but couldn't play in LA
man.
for whatever reason.
Oh man.
He would spend too much time at the beach, probably. He did get very tan.
He's older than he says.
Oh,
I'm convinced.
100%.
I'm convinced.
I'm convinced as well.
Yeah,
Good
no,
take.
All right,
legitimately.
Was this my last one here?
Yeah, last one.
All right, so I'm gonna go with Lee Jansen, closer for the Dodgers. Obviously, we all know him. So I can see him going back to the Dodgers. I mean, I feel like it'd just be a solid move. Just keep him around in the bullpen. I don't see it being super expensive. I can see like 2 years, $20 million range. I don't see it being a lot. I don't see it being a fair contract. Like that's fair for a guy like Jansen. But yeah, I feel bringing him back to the Dodgers would make sense for both sides. I mean, he's been there for a long time. I feel like it would just make sense for the Dodgers. Keep him around in the bullpen. Just added bullpen depth. Like I mean, even if they lose Joe Kelly, I mean that's another guy you just keep around. I mean, he's a bullpen piece, valuable asset. So it would make sense to bring him back for the Dodgers. So I could see it happening.
Yeah,
I mean,
obviously.
he's been the staple piece of that bullpen, too.
Yeah.
It would be shocking if they let him go.
Yeah, I also am going back to the Dodgers. I was looking at his like baseball reference because I was looking at everyone's. He's been there 12 years. Like,
Damn,
I feel like that's more than I
wow.
thought.
No, that is way
Just
more.
never
than
the big time closer until a few years ago.
And
it feels like.
Obviously,
Dude, I thought
fans
it'd be
love
like-
him and hate him, but
Dude, I thought it was like 7, 8.
yeah,
Yeah.
I 12
No.
years. That's 2 years after Kershaw.
I mean, when you say love him or hate him, I know for a fact you mean that. I mean, in July, like the end of June and all of July, he had like, it felt like every time he came in, it was just a blown save waiting to happen, especially in the NL West last year.
Yeah,
It was definitely a love-hate relationship between him. I mean, he did get booed at home, coming in the top of the ninth one time to pitch. But then again, there's no place like home, and Kenley Jansen, I feel like, only has his eyes set on staying in LA as well.
yeah. I think the only reason he wasn't signed before the lockout was because lockout.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I can think of. I like
All
it.
right. And
How-
is this my last pick?
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
Last pick of the draft here. Make it a good one.
All right. Well, I have Andrelton Simmons going to the Yankees. No, I'm kidding.
Oh man.
All right. What do you got? Come on. Highly
Let's see
anticipated here.
Yeah, try to get a little bit of like a drum roll or something. No.
All right.
so
I'll
I'm
hit you with,
thinking.
hold on.
Oh, what are we holding for?
Can he play baseball? He said, "Man, can he play baseball?"
All right, you're good.
Thank you. Okay. I'm going with former MVP Andrew McCutchen. He was a Philadelphia Philly last season, and the fans loved it every second of it. And ever since he has been in the organization, I have him going back there to basically finish out his career. I had him at 3 years, $33.5 million to the Phillies.
How could you not love Andrew McCutchen?
Yeah, just a great guy. I mean, I do have a few people who I know that go to Phillies games frequently just because they're Mets fans. And Andrew McCutchen, they say, is always standing at the base of the dugout, signing every autograph, taking pictures. And you see it on his social medias too, like his Twitter. He tries so hard to respond to everybody that mentions him just because he's such a man of the people that it's impossible to not love him.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I know people in Philly loved him. I loved him when he was a Yankee. It's hard not to love the guy. What was the money you had for 3 years?
33.5.
33.5. Yeah, that makes sense for a guy like him. He hasn't been as good lately in the years. Obviously, people forget this man won an MVP at one point in his career.
He's my MVP every year. Love Andrew McCutchen.
All right. He just said that. All right. Well, I mean, that kind of rounds out the draft. I kind of enjoyed all the picks. I think there were a couple guys who didn't get mentioned, but that's all right. Andrelton Simmons did not deserve to get mentioned. He was mentioned.
Yeah. Saying his name too much on airways recently.
I consider people like guys like Billy Hamilton. I was gonna say because like speed, but I went with the ones I was more confident with. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good.
All right.
Good picks.
Fun time. Enjoyable.
Without a doubt.
So I guess now next step is wait for lockout, which God knows when that's gonna end. They don't even have another meeting scheduled. So we'll see what happens there. That's all we really got because obviously these free agents aren't going anywhere until that happens.
Maybe one of them will listen to us and think, yeah, you know what, maybe that is a good place to go.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Maybe that'll be nice.
Yeah, I'll call
Freddie
up
Freeman.
I'll call up Freeman later.
Yeah, at the press conference, and thank you to Normal Baseball.
Never.
Really opened my eyes to this one.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
So I think that'll do it. I think that'll do it. This has been a very, very, very normal baseball podcast. We'll see you next time.